Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Well, not only Ukrainians are left without electricity and have problems due to this Russian invasion, but also the Russian population, the civilians. And a civilian is a civilian, that's why civilians are not targeted. It doesn't matter if they are in the Second World War German civilians or there are English civilians. They fall under the same protection. So it shouldn't be, how should I say, people should not be happy that the enemy's civilian population suffers, and vice versa. Otherwise, we'll say only the victims' population, the country that was attacked, that population is protected under the Geneva Conventions and other, protections provided to this segment. And aggressor countries' civilian population should not be protected because they are the aggressor. That's why they have the same value, the same protection. So let's find out what's going on in Belgorod. Now, if you remember, Belgorod was attacked yesterday morning by the, you don't know. There were some explosions. The Russians did not provide information who attacked it, but Belgorod is by the border with, has close the border with Ukraine, so it's only logical to assume that it was the Ukrainians. Or could they have been the Russians creating problems and then point fingers and say, see what the Ukrainians are doing to us? So when they cry about us hitting civilian infrastructure and civilians, actually they do it too. I mean, it's a war, and believe me, things like this happen all the time. On all sides. I'm not saying only the Russians are capable of being like this. So Ukrainska Pravda from December 19th, 2022 says that 14,000 people cut off from grid near Belgorod, Russia, due to attack. The electricity supply was disrupted in Belgorod Oblast of Russia on December 18th following an alleged attack, as reported by Vyacheslav Gladkov, the governor of Belgorod Oblast. And I'm quoting Gladkov. An estimated 14,000 residents are still without power supply. Emergency crews are starting to reconnect the grid to backup power sources. On the morning of 18th of December, explosions rang out in the Russian city of Belgorod, with a column of smoke rising above one of the buildings. The local authorities reported that the air defense systems were operating. Later, it was reported that allegedly one person had been killed and 8 wounded. Now, if they show here a picture with a smoking building or something, because you can clearly see what's going on over there. What do you mean these people are cut off from the grid due to the attack? And they say it was one house that was hit. I mean, what kind of house possibly create such a big problem, mess? What could that, is it, what is it? Really? I mean, if you put 2 or 3 houses, it still wouldn't matter. I mean, you say, well, that interrupts, but 14,000 people? I don't know. I'm not an expert whatsoever in, the energy production and distribution, but imagine that one house is blown up. How could that produce such a issue, 14,000 people, unless there's more than that, and this is just the the tip of the iceberg, because probably the Russians do not want to create panic and say, hey, we've been attacked and more destruction is around, but we're not going to let you know about it. We're not going to promote it. And that would also show the failure of their defense system, air defense system, which again, I have a, how should I put it, I don't want to say theory, but I start to think that I've been starting to think about this for some time, and someone else told me before that maybe these guys are not as capable, these guys being all of them, the guys with the weapons, they are not as performant as they say they are, which is, you know, the laser and all that boom, 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 and hitting down missiles, and the missiles are so good that they evade actually the air defense systems and all that, and we hear about all kind of fantastic weapons, and it seems like a lot of them are, I think, they're inflated, their capabilities. It's true that if you improve an offensive weapon, you then develop something that is capable of destroying that. So that's kind of like nullifying it, you know, neutralizes it. To a certain extent, you can't be 100% certain that you do that, especially if you overwhelm the air defense system. Now you hear about this, for instance, rockets or missiles that are sent, and at one point when they realize they're detected by the opposite air defense systems, they spread. If they feel an incoming missile from the air defense system, they spread in more, and this is going to be able to either be, doesn't know where to go, confused, and picks only one target, but then you have the other 7 that will be able to hit the targets. I didn't hear anything of that. Nothing. I heard only about one. I heard about cluster bombs, you know, that's one, but it's not what they meant. They meant one missile going, and then from that disperses and other go. I didn't hear any of that kind of fantastic weapon. Then again, I heard about, and I know about, weapons that are sent in order to jam, or not jam, but create panic in the, or not panic, but you know, the defensive system sees one incoming missile and you go and you hit it. It's one-on-one, but then you send to confuse the air defense system with a lot of other pieces of information that they will see on the radar, let's say 100, and they do not have the capability of destroying 100. They have a limit, I don't know, let's say 50, but it's actually only 3, and these guys don't know what to do, which one to send, and they send the 50, and then after that, what? You're done. Your capability, you're done for that kind. And if you send 3 of this with the impression that it's 100 rockets coming, and it's only 1 or 2, then you send, try to destroy all of them, and you just use your ammunition. And after 1 of this or 2 of this, you send the real missiles, and these guys are empty. No more bullets. It's a lot of things that I didn't hear that happening, because it's not reported, because there's no such a thing. I understand. I read about these things, and I said, well, that's fantastic, but I'm pretty sure the thing is, you will not be able to destroy everything. So there will be, some of them you're gonna miss. But that's the whole point. Try to confuse the air defense systems by pretending or showing these guys that you send out 100 at one time. These guys are gonna have to prepare. They don't know if it's 100 or not 100, or they know because they're so advanced. So when I'm talking about, I do not see those advanced weapons that I read about, and they make so much noise when something like this occurred. Like the same with the supersonic, hypersonic missiles and all that, and how fantastic they are, and they are, I don't know, 7 Mach or something, or 12 Mach, and woohoo, fantastic. I'm or with the satellites with laser now, and bzz, 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 they show you a little computerized exercise or something, very, very much controlled. You're like, oh, I have a lot of questions here. And then nothing like this happened, or at least you don't hear about. And why wouldn't you? You should hear about it, so you brag about it, and you know, you intimidate about it, so you brag about it, and you know, you intimidate the other side. You say, hey, we have the Wunderwaffen, you know, Wunderwaffe, the wonder weapon, like the Germans and so on. I don't hear that. Nobody showed any wonder weapon in this world, in this war in 2022. So I'm a little bit concerned. Again, they ran out of stockpiles. What? The Americans or what? All these guys, we don't have anymore. How much did you send? How much did you have? I don't think they have a stockpile. I think they have a few, and if something occurs, then they switch to war industry and they start producing. But then, what if you don't have, you're cut off from resources? You don't build shit at that point. I know they know what they're doing, but I think it's somewhere is a I don't want to say a lie, but an exaggeration where they say, well, we are military, this is this. I don't think so. The Americans are not going to send, I don't know, they just produce HIMARS to send the Ukrainians, or send the Poles that ordered 500. They don't have them. They just ordered, and now they worked on them. I mean, it's really, they got whatever they got from, I think, HIMARS they're going to get, or something else from the Koreans. They will be transferred from North Korea, from South Korea to Ukraine, and whatever Lockheed Martin or Raytheon, we're going to give the South Koreans sometime, whatever. Why? Because they don't have it ready. I mean, you can say, well, Amy, do you think those are ready? But what if a war starts and you don't have the resources? I mean, it's just, as I said, they know best, but I don't think they have a big stockpile of ammunition. Maybe ammunition they do, but high technology and all this, like defense systems, and so I don't think they can justify their $850 billion budget. But they have a lot of personnel, and I have military bases everywhere, and that means money. So I think that's where most money goes, not in having weapons and building weapons and all that, I think. But hey, we'll find out never. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.